Good afternoon, students. Your lecturer for today is Mr. Magagula for Plant and Animal Production N6. Our today's topic or lesson is the main component of the diet of farm animals and carry out simple tests. This is the topic which we will deal about today for the next minutes, 20 minutes or so. Firstly, when we deal with animals, as you know that for every life it requires water. Water is life. So for our animals, they will also need water so that they can have life and carry on, so that they can eat and have water. Factors that affect the amount of water that animals need. Animals at different stages, they require different amount of water. A large animal cannot consume or drink the same water as a small animal. Take for example here, you got your sheep, and then same with the cattle. You got these young ones, the calves, and then you got the cow or bull, which is the bigger one. So they cannot drink the same kind of water. The factors, number one, it will be the age. The young ones, they will drink a small amount of water because they are small, so their body cannot take more liters. And also they eat palatable water, palatable feed. Even the different types of animal, a goat, a sheep, they cannot drink the same amount of water like your cattle or your horses. The bigger the animal, the more water it requires. Also, what influences the water amount from the animal is the climate, the region where the cattle are. For example, if you are in the drought areas, your low fields, that means the grass there or the feeds which they consume there, it's more dry. It's not like in the high fields where there are more rainfall, there's grass which is green, which is more palatable. Because if the moisture of the soil, of the grass got water, it won't require the animal to drink more water, because also the food which is eating got water. So that means in the dry areas where there is a lot of sun, it requires that the animals drink more water, so that the food can be easily digested inside the animal. Because you cannot have a dry food only. For a dry food, you will also need to drink more water. Unlike when you have more palatable or weak stuff. When you got your weak stuff, you will drink less water. So in easy way, that means in the high fields where the climates are cooler, the animal will drink lesser water than an animal which is in the lower fields where there is lesser rainfall and the fields are more drier. For production purposes, let's say for example you got your beef cattle, or you got your milk cattle. For your animal to produce more milk, that means it must have more water so that it can produce more milk. And for the animals which are also breastfeeding, they will also need more water so that they can produce more milk. Growth phase. When we go to the growth phase, the animal, when it's still young, it's not consuming much of the water and it's not consuming much of the feed. So when it is still growing, it will need lesser, unlike the old animal which is eating more of the dry fields, and then in that way it will drink more water. Moisture content. When you talk about moisture content, we are talking about the moisture of of the fields. Let's say your fields are not the same, because your fields which maybe you are buying from somewhere, they are totally dry. If it's got dry mass, it's only dry, that means it's going to drink more water. Unlike when you are feeding your animals from the veld, like during the summertime, like now we are approaching summer, that means the animal will be eating more palatable grass. So that in that way, it will not drink more water. It will require lesser water for it to continue to eat more water. Water contributes to many functions in the body of an animal. Like an animal, when it is drinking water, it is not drinking water just for fun. It is drinking water so that it can carry out its functions which are happening daily, which are happening throughout the life for 24/7. Number one, water is a major part of cells. That means water is in the building blocks of cells in the animal body, so that it can grow. For the animal to grow, it must eat and drink water. By so doing, it allows the cell to cultivate or to make it grow similar. Number two, you got the blood of an animal. For blood to be there, that means it must have water. Because if you don't have water, that means there is no blood. For blood to be there, that means you must have more water. Like even in a human being, if a human being maybe is in a car accident or stuff is being stabbed, if he loses more water, that means there will be less blood. If there is less blood, that means it's going to die. So for it to have more blood, that means it must drinking more water. Function of water also is a solvent of dry material. Since the animal is eating dry feeds daily, that means the water will going to help it in that way that there will be no constipation, there will be easy digestion of the feeds. It aids in the digestion. Also for adequate milk production, like I have said before, that water is also strongly linked to the milk production. It also regulates the body temperature, because water is cooler. If you drink more water, that means we are becoming cooler. Same with the animals. Like we are having animals and human, it's more like the same thing. We are all beings. If you are a being, that means you are going to drink more water to regulate your body so that you cannot feel much heat. Your animals will drink more water during the dry periods time. In the feeds, because we are talking about the feeds which are eaten by the animal, in the feeds we got your carbohydrates, your simple sugars. Your carbohydrates are in simple sugars. Complex carbohydrates function is energy. When you eat, it means that you are going to get more energy. It helps with the use of proteins and fats. That means if you are eating, that means you are getting more energy, and you are also using protein and fat for it to continue to grow. If you can look at the next slide, it's where we're discussing it more on these minerals which are there for the animals. Because in this field, in this feeds of the animal, the feed comes with minerals, like in a plant. Also, the plant got different minerals. We got your macro and micro elements. The macro elements, those are coming in bulk masses. Also, your micro, that are coming in smaller quantities, but that does not mean they are not necessary. They are necessary, but they come in smaller quantities. Your macro elements got your calcium, magnesium, sodium, and potassium. Calcium is usually made for milk. That means if you got a dairy farm, that means your cows are going to consume more milk. Also for magnesium is for the bones. It's helping there. Also sodium and phosphorus. When you look on the other side, You've got your micro elements. And your micro, you've got your iron, your copper, zinc, magnesium. Those are elements which are needed in the feed. They don't come in large quantities, but they come in very vital, small, what you call elements, but they are very, very essential in growing of the animals. For milk production of the animal, it's where you got milk, your milk, and then also if an animal, if you are giving an animal which is having more milk, that means you're going to feed it more milk. Unlike if maybe you're keeping your boring, which is for beef. A beef animal does not require more calcium. Maybe it might require sodium and potassium for it to grow and have more fat. Also, the iron will also come in such a way that it's growing the animals in all those species. So, in short, when we look at the factors of when we look at the diet of the farm animals, because farm animals are different, that means as a farmer, if you are having your farm, you must know what type of feed your animals must eat. Let's take for example, you've got your dairy farm or you've got your beef farm. That means the feed which you must give to the animal cannot be the same. You cannot feed your dairy the same feeds which you are giving to the boron cattle. That means if you are giving them the same, that means it's only limiting it in some way. So what is important is that as a farmer you must study the animal and you must know which you must use. Also with your poultry, there are different. You've got your layers or you've got your broilers, which will need you to have a different type of feeds. Because for your layers, you will need your laying mesh. For your broilers, you will need just feed. As we summarize this, I think everyone from the class can have a clear picture of what we are talking about. So I think our lesson for today is more of bringing together kinds of feeds and everything which you must know according to the feed of the animal. Okay, I thank you.